Just after Yerushalmi Shekalim in the article Oz edition, we're on the top of Nun Dalet Amud Aleph for starting the Mishnah of Halacha Gimel, so it's easy to find. See, right at the top of the page, and in the Vilna Yerushalmi, it's almost at the bottom of Chav Tes on the base. The Vilna Bavli Yerushalmi, it is on Daf Chav Amud Aleph. Easy to find because it's Halacha Gimel. Okay, so says the Mishnah. Be'em Hashem says Yerushalayim Amigdal Eder. Find Yerushalayim animal from Yerushalayim up to Migdal Eder, which is a point near Yerushalayim. Ruach, and in that circumference all around Yerushalayim. Zcharim Olos Nekevas Nikvei Shlamim. So it says Zcharim Eder, Zcharim Olos Shantonim Shiatzim Yerushalayim. Soon these animals came to Yerushalayim. Rov Zcharim Yerushalayim and Olos. Well, Nekevas Livich Shlamim. Notice the male animals Yerushalayim, since Olos can only be male. Most of the male animals are olos, and most of the kevas are those chazivkei shlamim. Rudamer rei lepsachim koyim l'regel shloshim yom. He says, well, some animal which is suitable to be a pesach, which, as Karmeda says, is zocher ben shana, a male within its first year of life, mina kvasim mina isim pesachim. And the person who finds it can bring it for pesach. Moshe says, if later on the bailim come, you reimburse him. Okay, that was the first by Mishnah. There are actually, according to the art scroll, there are Mishnah Daled, Mishnah Hey, Mishnah Ba, Mishnah Zayin, 4 Mishnahs in this Mishnah. Next one. Initially, they would compel the person who found these animals that he should be in the Nesachim. As the Karbanos says, which come with the Karbanos. But then, no, people decide, why should I spend the money on this carbon, which is not mine? So they would just leave the animals and run away. They would just ignore them. So basically made that corner that the lost animals which are found should come from the tzibur. Rabbi Shimon said Shiva dvarim miskinu beistin v'zeh echad mehem. Beistin enacted 7 things, and we're going to enumerate them. And this is the first of them. Goy sheshiach lolosim medina sayam. The goy who sent an olah, goy can only send an olah because it doesn't send a shlamim. We learn it out. It says, as it says, ish sh'akum nedarim u'nedavos ki Yisrael, that he sent within the sachin craving mishalom. They come from the carbon of from the dove of the non-Jew. V'im lav, and if not, craving mishal tzibur. Well, the tzibur gives the sachin for the goy's carbon. So Reb Chaim points out that if Yisrael doesn't work there, Yisrael will mashkin him until he brings in the Nesachim. There's no option of Mishal Tzibur. V'chein ger shemes. There's nobody to take achrayus in this korban. He died without any, and he has no heirs. So v'niach zvachim, he'll have korbanos yesh nesachim. If he has nesachim that he set aside during his lifetime, then we Makrei Mishal. Bin Lav and not Krei Mishal Tzibur, they're brought from the Tzibur. Tonight, based in who's Kohen Gadol Shemes. The Kohen Gadol died, but still we have to have it on Sirius Haifa, which is brought half in the morning, half in the afternoon as pancakes. Tonight, based on Kohen Gadol Shemes, Krei Mishal Tzibur, the korban is brought from the Tzibur's funds. Right? Before Mer Mishal Yorshin, it says the heirs of the Kohen Gadol, they supply the funds for the Asir Seifa. And the Morris will explain what the Machlokes Shivim Rabbi Yehuda is. Shlem Hoysa Kreva. So the Korban says Shlem Hoysa Kreva Kshi Ba Mishal Tzibur. When it comes from the Tzibur, Rabbi Shimon, or Mishal Shorshim Rabbi Yehuda, Yisron Shalem Hoysa Kreva. It was a full Yisron in the morning, full Yisron at night. V'lo Chatzi Yisron, not a half Yisron. When I say night, I don't mean night, in the evening. The next takana, the 5th, Ala melech v'eitzim, that salt and wood, shua konim ne'osim the kohanim can derive benefit from them. And the Korban explains, dafka l'chilas korbanos. They can use the salt and wood in the Beis Hamikdash, which is supposed to be used for the korbanos themselves, for them to eat the korban. Avachilas chulin, afilu also ne'acholin bazara, but for eating chulin, even the chulin which is eaten bazara, they shoklo korbanos so, which is eaten, or the korbanos should be eaten in a matter of satisfaction, when they're satisfied. Ain neosabem, for that you can't use it. So only for korbanos which they eat, and not for chulin. Va'para. Lo yumalim be'fara, and that a para duma, when it's burnt and you have the ashes which you use then to be matayat tmeim, there's no meila in the afer para, and the Gemara is going to explain that. And finally, the last one, al kina psulos shu bos mishel tzibur, that kina psulos, we had kina which got lost earlier a couple of days ago, but the kina psulos that these are ones which became puzzle, so that Shem Bos B'Tzel Tzibur, the Tzibur pays for him. It says Korbaneda Shem Mechuyav and Kinim. Most they put the people Mechuyav Kinim to be being a pair of birds, one Ola, one Chatas. Maybe most and also shofar. They put a shofar, appropriate shofar. According to that opinion, would show that Kinim there was a shofar for that purpose. If you Basin Lochem Amos, Basin takes money, Vakonim Mem Kinim, and they acquire Kinim. Bailim Hochim Lam, the owners go. So when Basin Shakim Kibbam, they line the basin, of course, the basin, meaning the Beis Hamikdash, that they'll sacrifice their Kinim. Being Porcha Kinim, if the birds fly away before they're shechted. And we still find pasuk na basin sheikhu acher mitrumas alishka. So the stipulation basin, they should take other ones from the trumas alishka, umaklim misnam bailam, and they bestow ownership on these of these korbanos on the owners. V'yotzim meidei chavasan, and they fulfill their obligation this way. Rabbi Yossi Mer Misapik is kinim who Misapik is absulus. So we said something about the ovdos earlier. Misakinim osan says korban osan should paskim against buying lukolim kolakinim, the suppliers supplied all the breads that tzrichim which they need, who have a fleet koshim sabab possible. He has to switch all the ones which are found possible. Okay, that's the end of our Mishnah. Now we have the Gemara, and in the Gemara, the Gra and Reb Chaim changed the, and of course the Talmud Chadatin changed the girsa. So we're going to go with the change of girsa, even though the art scroll does not. Okay, so that is okay. So what it should say before Rabbi Yoshua Rabbah, it says the Gemara should say, we said that you find males outside Yerushalayim. Again, I mean the Gra. His girsa. We said they're olos. Who says? Maybe they're also shlamim, because shlamim can be both olos or scharim and akevos. Yes, olos can be scharim, but scharim can be olos and akevos. Okay, olos or shlamim. Sorry. So therefore, why did you say that they're definitely olos? So Rabbi Yeshua Rabbah Amar lo vobid me'em shanu. And echanami, it could be their shlamim. We don't know. So therefore, you have to sell them and use the money to buy olos. And read the Talmud Chadatin in a minute. Now, of course, normally you can't be mechalel behema unless it has a mum. This animal didn't have a mum. So we're going to come to that. Rabbi Yochanan is going to address that eventually. But in the meantime, we're not addressing that issue at this point. So let's see Talmud Chadatin here. So it says, how's the word love of me'em shanim? So he says, well, first I'll read, might as well read the first one. So love of me'em shanim. Their value has to come. Says they're not sacrificed at all. This person wants to find a takana for these animals. So person finds him, wants to accept upon himself the obligation of all its value. Shem suffix, which is a suffix. And he wants to make them chulin and be makdish their value appropriately. Im Schorim Nischayev after Meola. So if they're nekevos, it's shlamim. It's not a problem. If they're males, so he's also chayav to be an ola because it might be shlamim, it might be ola. Doesn't know what it is, right? Cheshin shem olos, and we're not going to send them olos. So Kate said osa. So what does he do? So the actually, I guess Taka kind of addresses it now. This issue of before. Without the issue of the moon. After we have to wait to Rabbi Yechon. I guess it's going to the other gears, other Mefarshim here, who have the gears in the Gemara, it's different gears of Gemara itself. But according to the Gemara's gears, so now we're already going to address it now. Okay, so first we're going to read the gears of the Gemara, and then we'll read Takachadin. So it says, Motzil Chulin. He makes them Chulin, v'chayzer osan olos, and then he makes them olos. Okay, so now again we're going with the Targum Chadatin, who's explaining the Groaz Girsa. You can't be mchal without a moon. It's not like we learn in Mehila. You test on the base. There is. One second, I'm missing something here. I'm talking Chadatin. There's a parenthesis, but it doesn't seem to close this parentheses. Now the article at the bottom of the page just missing the close parentheses. Okay. It says, so we learn Me'il Yutasabates Ein Mo Achar Mo B'Mukdoshin. There's no Me'il after Me'il by Mukdoshin. Normally, Daina B'Korban Echad Shel Hekdesh, if you have one Korban Hekdesh, if Shalios Beis Me'il Zochar Zu. Can't have two milas one after another. Once you have one mila, it goes al chulin. The Keiman Shema Rishon Yatz chulin, but that's not by Ella. There are exceptions to this. El behema should be kli shoris v'vad. By an animal and kli shoris, the behema shall cut him his bech. Animal of cut him his bech. Haril korban. So for korban, any yatz chulin shitmim can't go out chulin when it's tumim, right? So therefore, there's moel achar moel, right? So shani also lo mechavel avkina b'chulin. That's different because you don't have a mind to make chulin. Hilka kedusha saguf lo mischal. So kedusha saguf does not fall off. Aval chacha. But here, kam bechavin lafkunia b'chulin. He has the mind to be motzi chulin. Hilka kedusha saguf nami mischala. Therefore, the kedusha saguf also is mischala. B'zel d'amar. That's what it says. Motzil chulin b'chozer olos. He. In this case, because of unique circumstances of this animal, we don't know what to do with it. So therefore, according to this opinion, you're allowed to be mechal even a tomim, because it's deliberately a mechalit. Normally, you don't have that in mind, and normally it doesn't work. But here we have no choice, so you mechal the animal. So and then you turn around and you make an ola. This animal starts making an ola. The money, which was you gave to the Beis Hamikdash will then be, in order to Yechal, will then be used by Shlamim. So this animal went out to Chulin, you make it an Ola, and the money you give to the Beis Hamikdash will be then used to Tzad Shlamim, you now use that money to Shlamim. So Manavshach. If it was an Ola to begin with, I guess you wrote tonight, and the Reb Chaim says you have to actually bring a second animal and make a whole procedure. But the Tanakh kind of doesn't mention that. So I guess according to Tanakh, it sounds like even one animal works in Miman of Shach. They say, if it's an Ola, so I'm going to be an Ola. If it's a Shlamim, so I redeemed it, and I bought a Shlamim with that money, and now I'm sacrificing this as an Ola Snedaba. I think that's the way it works when you talk in Chadatin, without having to come out to Reb Chaim's scenario, which will coincide there and say to bring a second animal and make it tonight. Again, I want to repeat it. According to Chadatin, I think the way it's saying is that if it's an Ola, so now I'm bringing it as an Ola. I redeemed it, but I reconsecrated it as an Ola. And the money which I give is a Shaman Nedava. If it was a Shlamim, so then I redeemed it. There's going to be an Osadava, and the money which was worth as a Shlamim, that's going to go to buy the Shlamim, which it was. So now again, going further, Gugros Girsa, Rabbi Yasser B'Yakov Baracha, Veins and Mazid. Isn't that Mazid? And that's, I'm going with the Targum Chadatin again. which is now in Nun Ham with Alf and Taka Khatin. Pains the maid on Mechavin Fuktina of Kino Khulin. He has my to be Moti the Khulin. But I made who the Svile Hachi Bilchut that it works. Rabbi Yehuda the Polyglot Kedushin. Kaimakav said the Kashi Mezanim Mischalo. It doesn't work. You can't be even a Tamim. You can't be Michal. Even if it's limited, how do I do Michal it? No, Why does not want to say it's going to be a mayor and not according to halacha, which is according to Rabbi Yehuda? So the Gemara answers again, going back to Gros Girsa. Amar le Rabbi Yochanan, Omi lohem tzeim abakachim. Well, actually, before we no, the Gemara he actually has a different Girsa here. They're talking Chadatin, which doesn't. Here it is. Sorry. Amar le mikevan shetnai basin ain't amazed. Since tnai basin, it's not amazed. And it says the Talmud should be killing this Kaddish Shlomim al Tanai Basin. This Tanai Basin, whenever this Zohar, which was sanctified as a Shlomim, there was an intrinsic Tanai Basin made. Shem Yovdu, and that's going to be lost. Yimtzu Zacharim, and they're going to find Zacharim B'Sfeika, and it's find the Zacharim, and it's going to be a Safek. Chaygavna, and such as this we describe. Yotzachalim Tzolam Takana. And if it's somebody wants to misaki them, fix it up. Yischalu. Chagav la mezidu. That's not mezid. It's considered to be a Tanai Basin. So Basin, when they saw this problem could arise, they already made this implicit in any hekdesh of a male of a female. Sorry, I said male before. It's a hekdesh of a female to be an ola that they should have. Yeah, no, but he says chorim. I think it's a typo in Tanchadin. It should be Yimsu Nekevos Sveka. Not Yimsu Zcharim. No, I'm wrong. I'm not thinking. No, of course it's Zcharim. Right. Male is the suffix of Shlomim, suffix Olos. Right. Okay. So, if you was in a case of you makdish a Zachar Lishlomim, so then when we have and later it's lost and it's found, and then we have a suffix was Shlomim or Ola, then of course they put this takon in place that you could make this tzal tanai and you can be mechalit. Okay, so that's what Rabbi Yassi responded to Rabbi Yaakov. Came to Tanai Basin, ain't amazing. So Rabbi Yochanan is not satisfied with this. Either it's not a Tanai Basin, or if it is a Tanai Basin, that nevertheless it's not appropriate to deliberately circumvent the Kedusha through a Tanai Basin. So, Amr Yochanan, Omi lo adam tzeim abakachim. The Tanchadin says, Omi lo adam tzeim abakachim, zech osel chalent mimin. He's not going for this Rabbi Asi answer. Says no trick. Only maybe. I'm not sure. Could be that we weren't coming to that pasuk before, and Rabbi Yochanan's coming to this pasuk now for the first time. For just about a malachamon b'kachim, but. So since introducing the pasuk now, it's a different cheshbon. The Gemara itself, which does not follow the parallel sugin kedushin from which the Gemara took his girsa, there is no Ravasi. There's no discussion of Rabbi Yaakov Bar Acha and it's actually Rabbi Yochanan Bar Acha responding to Ravasi. There's no question Ravasi is Rabbi Yaakov Bar Acha responding. It's just going straight to Rabbi Yochanan. So you don't have the redundancy which you have according to the Gra. But according to the Gra, it seems that it's the Rabbi Yochanan's not accepting Rabbi Yaakov Bar Acha's response. So he's saying again, I mean, the same out. The Chobem is a Mizbeach also Chalent Bimim. You know, to Michal them team, Shenam Imamea to have to go to the Berkecho, by Menachas Kuval, by Munish Nifto Kosim Medaber. Only by Baal Mumin is that you can redeem it. Zesh Bali Islam B'Chov Damim. So this guy is coming there now, wants to obligate himself to pay. Normally, Shimol Challah. We're telling to do meila to michal miyad. It's a form of meila to be michal an animal which is not suitable for chilul, right? So rather he says no. Yochanan says we got this is a Metzias question. He says Elohim ben achar rov for the majority. Rov scharim olos, we rov the cable ziv shlamim. If the majority are the well, let's read the Chanikan. Elohim achrovim rov scharim olos the nika shuk olos. The stomach shem got the kavos. By scharim, the assumption is that the olos, since shlamim are also question kavos. B'chazina rubas scharim. I mean, we say most chorim must be olos because olos are plentiful, and it must be that there, and they can only come chorim. So we assume that most chorim are olos. In the kavos is zivchei. If we have rom the kavos, go to zivchei. Zimasa ruba shabadi shlamim. Shkavos ganking shem below olos. Kulam zivchei shlamim. Of course, I think it's kind of superfluous, but because the shlamim, obviously in the cave, it's going to be shlamim. So it's not just a question of rov, it's really a kol, but he's being symmetrical about it. Rov's chorim, since olos only comes chorim, so therefore rov, olos, chorim are olos, and since shlamim can come also the cave, so rov can only come, the cave can only come as shlamim, so therefore rov the cave are shlamim. Okay, so therefore, it's mikra din our Mishnah. We're not using tanoim and things like that. Zil b'saruba. And since you can go straight up, if there's chorim, we can sacrifice them as olos, and the kavos is shlamim, because zil b'sar ruba, we can follow the roof. Rabbi Zir becomes back to a different, use the Tanai basin as well, but a different Tanai basin, which we've seen actually already in the past. Rabbi Zir said, Kamadat Amar Tamar, just like we said earlier, a few blot ago, that if you have kingdom which got lost, Tanai basin, we mentioned this, of course I mentioned the Mishnah a few moments ago, Tanai basin of those shekarvu olos. Well, we mentioned actually that the Misapik and Sakinim also mentioned, brings on the Ovdos. But here saying, I basically Ovdos, even though it would start off as a Chatos, when it was put into a pushka for Kinim, if the money gets lost, and now you find the money, it's a basically comes as an Ola, the Chatos reverts to the Ola. Ken at Omar of Hacha, Tanai Basin, Ovdos Shikor Olos. So to here, it's similar to Tanai Basin, that the lost ones come as Olos. Okay, so the now I see, at the I'm looking for at the next part of the Gemara. I see it wasn't redundant. The Gra, just put Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yasser, Rabbi Yaakov discussion earlier. So even even here it says Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yaakov Racha ain't amazing. The came shoot Nai Basin ain't amazing. So it's going to according to him, according to our Gemara, that statement, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yaakov, is not going on the Tnai based in of the. It's not going on the Me'ila issue at the beginning. It's going on this issue of how you can bring the Ovdos as Olos, and saying that you can because that's Tnai based in. Okay, so it says the Gemara. It says rather. Rabbi Zir commanded Rabbi Zir Pakla Kusha Kama. He answered the original question. The aim was Chorim Mavi Shlamim. The Eich Makri Bolos. The maybe they're Shlamim. Lokash class not difficult. Earlier it said Gabi Kinim Gozli Ola found money between the pushka of Kinim and Gozli Ola. The part of the Yesh Chatos Kreva Ola. How can you bring the Chatos as an Ola? We need not based on those Shikarva Olos. It says it's not based on that the of those should bring Ola becomes Olos. Not based on of those here too. It's not based on those animals got lost. Shinu Shlam Migdal later. Shikarva Olos that should bring us Olos. I forgot the Chazir Shlami. Even though Suva Shlami Lotzich Lukim to Rabbi Yesh Rabbi Yochanan. You don't have to come on to what Rabbi Yesh said before, that to do a form of pidyon, or that Rabbi Yochanan said you follow the rope. No, that this is the Tanai based in that they can be brought as olos. And I really like the who am I to say, but because the group put discussion Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yaakov before, but I like the fact that it's going. I like that the Gemara itself. It seems is going over here and it's going to Shakavatayas and Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yaakov, ain't amazing. It's not deliberate. He says, no, it doesn't matter. Kim should not base it. Ain't amazing. You're allowed to stipulate that it could be the ovdos can come as olos. Okay, which means this regardless to two dots on Nun Aleph. So we'll stop here for today.